Welcome everyone to this week's Citizens Climate University. It's a weekly webinar program of Citizens Climate Lobbies that provides CCL supporters like you and I with access to in-depth training opportunities on topics related to climate change and effective climate advocacy. I'm your host, Brett Cease, and tonight's topic, we're specifically going to be jumping into talking about how we can launch the Stand With Ukraine campaign. And what we're especially looking forward to is having the chance to learn from CCL's marketing manager, Ashley Hunt-Martorano, as well as CCL's Vice President of Organizational Strategy, Tony Sirna, for a training that's going to introduce CCL's direct response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. We've all seen the calls to drill, 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 and the president and some members of Congress are pushing back on that with a clean energy agenda. And we want to make sure to leverage that and make sure the president and members of Congress know that there's support for their constituents for prioritizing clean energy as a way to achieve real energy independence and reduce the power of dictators like Putin. A little bit about Ashley and Tony. Ashley has worked as CCL's marketing manager and focuses on brand management and social media. She started as a volunteer in 2012, has worked on staff since 2015. Tony drives organization-wide strategic thinking for Citizens Climate Lobby and supports our long-range planning, helping to clarify organizational priorities and maximize our effectiveness at achieving them. So you can see why tonight's topic is at a perfect intersection for both of their roles for our discussion. And if we've done our job well, you're going to have the chance to understand a little bit more why CCL chose to launch the Stand With Ukraine campaign. We're going to explore where you can find the resources that we'll be reviewing for this campaign on CCL Community and our main website. And you'll have the chance to start learning how to use the resources for your outreach efforts in April and beyond. So with that, our agenda is really straightforward. We're going to give you more of a background. We're going to give you a little bit of a window into the creative choices that have been made. We'll talk about some of the resources that are available as of today. We'll review those talking points. We'll generate some ideas around tabling. With that, thank you all for being here. You're in for a real treat. This is a really important topic. Our hearts all go out to the people of Ukraine, especially right now on such a tragic and important topic. But I will pass it with this point to Tony to take us from here.
Great, thank you, Brett. So we are excited to roll out this new campaign that we're calling the Stand With Ukraine campaign. And this grew out of the tragedy of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the impacts that it has had on energy and energy politics, both in our country and around the world. This campaign is an emotional call to action, and it's centered around artwork based on popular World War II posters. The campaign launched late last week to a great reaction on social media with a call to action to email the president and Congress. And we hope that you'll be taking action by emailing the president and your members of Congress, and that you'll share it with your friends, family, on social media, and at any CCL outreach events in April that are appropriate. Our goal is to hit 40,000 messages to the president and Congress. That's for the year. That includes the campaign that we started in January. But we're trying to hit that goal by the end of April, and we're already well on our way towards that. So why are we doing this campaign? So, I mean, obviously it's inspired by the situation on the ground in Ukraine, but it's also because of it's mostly because of the changing politics around energy. It's made clear, even more clear than was already apparent, that the geopolitical consequences of having economies that are reliant on oil and gas when the global oil supply is controlled by oligarchs and dictators around the world. It's focused people on the topic of energy security and has led to calls for a renewed push for domestic energy production. And so it's created another moment where Congress and the president need visible public support for a transition to clean energy. And they want to make, we know that they want to make the right decision. And this campaign is to help them, let them know that we've got their back, that we want them focused on, solving this issue of energy security through a clean energy agenda. And so, we felt that we couldn't keep doing the same business as usual and expect Congress or the president to listen to our message about climate action and carbon pricing when they are understandably preoccupied by the urgency of things that are happening in Ukraine and with the resulting energy crisis. So we wanted to update our messaging to meet the moment and make the connection between fossil fuel dependency and the invasion. And so the graphics that we've designed encourage people to email the president and Congress, advocate for a quick transition to clean energy. And these are very similar to the Take Action campaigns that we've been doing over the last 9 months in support of budget reconciliation, and they're still tied into that effort since that reconciliation push is still happening. We're also inviting other organizations, influencers, and thought leaders to share these graphics from their social media accounts. And so, if you have connections there, you're welcome to ask them to reach out to them and encourage them to be sharing these images. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Ashley.
Great, thanks, Tony. I'm excited to see so many people here tonight for the rollout of this campaign. So I want to chat for just a moment about some creative choices we made in planning this campaign. So above all, we knew that we needed an emotion-driven campaign to generate attention and support. So the narrative that we are countering with this campaign is drill, baby, drill. And that cannot be challenged with facts or information. We need hard-hitting messages that could cut through that noise on social media and in the news and elsewhere, and appeal to people's desire to help Ukraine and channel their anxiety into a positive direction. So we chose World War II posters as a basis for our campaign because those posters communicate a can-do spirit that everybody needs to pitch in order to defeat a threat, which both meets our challenge with climate change and also the tremendous courage shown by ordinary Ukrainians. So we hired a talented illustrator to update the World War II posters to reference clean energy by replacing guns or torpedoes or baskets of vegetables with wind turbines, solar panels, batteries, and electrical cords. We updated one of the most iconic images from those times, Rosie the Riveter, to show that electrification can help us in fossil fuel dependency. And we're really proud about the designs that we've rolled out. The posters themselves lend to some copy choices that I'll just review quickly. Because the campaign is emotion driven, and that was a primary goal of the campaign, it does have sharper, shorter copy than our typical campaign, which is usually more informational. So first, the copy calls out Putin as an adversary who's enabled by Russia's fossil fuel production. And we know that CCL doesn't usually call people out, but we felt comfortable in doing that in this case with Putin. So secondly, the copy also alternately suggests that we go fossil free or move to clean energy. Science tells us that we do need to largely transition off of fossil fuels. So there are graphics for usage with each of those messages. So depending on how you want to approach this in your own communities, given the own political climate in your communities, you can choose the messages that you like, whether it be go fossil free or a little bit more conservative of move to clean energy. And then the email copy that gets sent to the president and Congress contains messages tailored to Republicans and or Democrats, whichever party they belong to, that advocate for clean energy, but does not mention going fossil free or Putin or those wartime messages. So just be aware that the campaign is more public driven, and it's not necessarily, the World War II references aren't translating into the messages that get sent to Congress. So I just wanted to show you some of the poster designs. We've rolled out 2 of these so far on our social media and elsewhere. So we have taken this original, which actually we learned was from World War I, but it still is relevant to our work. And we've updated it with this image that we rolled out this week. So this is called the Stand with Ukraine image. And that's one of my favorite ones. So the next one I'll review is Rosie the Riveter. So this was the original. And then to include some more diversity in the campaign, we had the illustrator recreate Rosie as a Black woman who historically was underrepresented in the World War II imagery. So we're excited about that one, and that rolled out last week. It was the tweet that we had was, if it would have been launched last year in our entire year of Twitter, it would have been the 7th highest tweet, because that tweet went pretty viral for us. So it was met with great enthusiasm online, including retweeted by Bill McKibben. And then here are the rest of the images we are going to roll out over the next 5 weeks into the first week of May. So we do have a launch schedule and some of the resources we'll go over in a few minutes, but these are the images that we have updated. So let's go over some of those resources for volunteers. So I'm just using the Rosie example because that was the first set of resources that we had the illustrator complete all the way through. So that's what was available. If you'd like to use this campaign for April tabling events, we have yard signs, full-size posters. So if you want to have a full-size, like thick cardstock poster printed for either tabling, or if you like it and want to put it up in your house, that's an option. We also have stickers available for some of the designs. And so you can order these resources for a cost from our resources portal. It's formerly signs.com. It's now called Private Print Store. And I have seen, because I'm one of the admins there, that a bunch of you have already accessed this print store and started making orders. So that's exciting. You do need to create an account before you can even look at the designs on the page. So that's what that right image is. Like when you click that link, it's going to say create an account. Once you create your account, then you can browse the items in the store. So we have designed a flyer with Rosie the Riveter, the poster on one side. And on the back side, it's a description of the campaign with a call to action. And it has a QR code that scans to like a link tree. And that has a button where it will take you to the Take Action email campaign. So you can email the president, email senators, and email your representative. It also has a button there to join CCL, all from that one QR code. And then you can also follow us on all the social media channels, again, from that one QR code. So hopefully that makes it really easy for using a tabling events. You also will be able to access the Stand with Ukraine lady design for flyers and yard signs and such. So these are the two designs that we're creating all the resources for. So stickers, yard signs, posters, full page flyers and quarter page flyers. And so we also have those available, like I said, in the private print store where you can purchase those. That there is a one-time 10% off coupon for the private print store that you can use. And that link is in the resource guide that we'll review in a minute. It's welcome PPS 10, so you can get 10% off. And I will just also point out that CCL is not making any money off these sales. So this is like the lowest possible cost we can provide this all to you for at the easiest, one-stop shop kind of place. So we're not making any money off of this stuff from the private print store. We might upload a couple of these designs to Zazzle if you wanted a t-shirt or something, which we would get a small % off of just because that's how Zazzle functions. But this is the lowest rate. And we did research a bunch of different options so we could make this as affordable as possible for all of you.
Building on what Ashley shared, you're also more than welcome to print out and download any of the resources that you'd like to use locally. You don't have to use a print shop. If you go to CCL Community, you can see here, I just typed in Ukraine. It should be one of the top hits. You can click the link to the flyers. From there, you're more than welcome to find any of the downloads that are available here as PDFs. We'll keep this updated with any additional ones that we'll be adding throughout the campaign. And you're more than welcome to use your own local print shop or print them off in your own printer for your own usage that way as well.
Again, the posters, they're 12 by 16. The stickers are square. They're 2 by 2. Yard signs, flyers, and quarter page flyers are available. And again, they have the QR code on the back of them. And this is available for you to download everything for free as well to print locally or at home. And this is exciting. This is a new thing that we've never had before. We usually have all our resources uploaded on Community, which we do, again, have them uploaded on Community for your ease and searchability. We also have a public page on our website where people from the public, because we're wanting this campaign to be used across the spectrum of everyone who cares about clean energy and about using this moment to have a conversation about our use of fossil fuels. We have all of these images and resources downloadable from a public page on our website. So, if you've got your local Sierra Club or your local 350 chapter and they want to access these downloads to share on their own social media or for their own events, we did not put the CCL logo on these on purpose. We wanted this shareable across the climate organization spectrum. So we didn't put our logos on them because we want everyone to share them that feels like this would be useful in their work talking about this issue. So they're not branded on purpose, and we're excited to have them publicly available on our website. So each week after these graphics get launched on social media, and there's our very, very popular tweets, we will update the resource toolkit, which Brett is putting in the chat. It's a Google Doc and it's also available on Community. And you can click the links to the social media posts, like, comment on, and share those posts. It really helps us have more visibility and reach more people in the public. So please do share those. And as I mentioned before, I got ahead of myself because I was so excited. Bill McKibben quote tweeted our release of the Rosie graphic and said, quote, "the right message and the right art. Click through to see." And he put the click through to see because the graphic didn't come through with his quote tweet, but that's pretty cool and pretty impactful that Bill McKibben did that. On Instagram, Moms Clean Air Force, who a lot of you might be familiar with, that organization has been a great partner on Instagram where they're very active and have a very large audience, and they've shared both of our graphics so far. So we're in the process of reaching out to other influencers that we've worked with on other campaigns to, again, help elevate this. And if you know of local influencers or folks we should reach out to and you have a contact, feel free to reach out to the marketing team to let us know, and we can try and make that relationship to share that. So I'll hand it back over to you, Brett.
Thank you, Ashley. Some ideas around our April tabling events. Obviously, this is Earth Month, and all of us, I'm sure, are thinking about how we can leverage this in our own groups and communities with the opportunities for grassroots outreach that we have presented to ourselves. So we've just put out 3 ideas here to prompt the discussion. You are more than welcome to start thinking through outside of this, what else you'd like to do with your team. But you're more than welcome to use the graphics that Ashley's just shared, that the marketing team have put out, to be able to print off stickers, to print off any of the other memorabilia, posters, you name it. And then as you engage passerbys to table, to ask them, if they have a moment to engage and email President Biden or the member of Congress from their phone right then and there, to then reward them with one of these stickers or printouts. You're also more than welcome to think about how you can use this in terms of adding and augmenting to your current table designs. We've got a lot of these posters available that Ashley's mentioned. And we've also heard some creative ideas even for some of our chapters dressing up as costumes, whether it's Rosie the Riveter, Uncle Sam, another World War II era character, you name it, a way to obviously bring a lot of the posters and the themes for the campaign to life.
So then we wanted to talk about some talking points so that, if you're out tabling, and you're wanting to talk to people about this, here are some things that, you can reference. And so one of them, I'm just going to read it. It's time to cut off Vladimir Putin's main resource, oil money. America needs to transition to affordable, clean energy to create new jobs and take control away from Vladimir Putin. So I think, stressing the energy security, the energy independence through clean energy, and taking away the source of Putin's funding is really important. And again, tying in that new job creation piece is also a great way to connect with people.
And I'll just build on that, and Tony and I'll popcorn a couple of these that you might be able to use or really employ in your own words for tabling opportunities. This one specifically focuses more on the connection between energy security and climate. So the president and Congress are facing pressure to double down on fossil fuels, but we know that they also see that America needs to transition to affordable clean energy for our energy security and for the climate. So let's show them that Americans support moving to clean energy, and swiftly.
Yeah, great. Or you might try saying something like, email the president and Congress to tell them that you have their backs when they stand up to Putin by choosing affordable, clean energy. Investing in clean energy means that we never have to buy oil from a dictator again. And I think making sure that it's that long-term piece of, that the affordable clean energy and the long-term independence from fossil fuels is great.
I agree. All of these are in the toolkit that we've been putting in the link, and we'll put one more time here too. But here's one last talking point that we'll cover for specifically some of the tabling opportunities or engagement opportunities they might have. And that's really employing, again, on all of us as ordinary citizens as ordinary Americans, we don't have to sit by during Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Instead, we can stand with Ukraine by encouraging our Congress and the president to invest in clean energy. By doing so, we're going to take away Putin's flow of oil money, not just today, but forever. So I think that is particularly resonant right now. What I'm going to do is cover one last slide. So there's 5 quick steps that anyone can do to be a part of today and this overall campaign, right? So number 1, you have the chance to email, text, call, and directly message your friends and family to participate. Really leverage as loud and as many voices as we can. Feel free to use all of the graphics as well as any of the posts that you're already seeing on CCL's social media feed to share and post in your own social media. We'll have the chance to engage with CCL's official social media account posts with your own sharing. Use the campaign resources throughout your April events like we've already been brainstorming. And as a final review, feel free to buy one of our yard signs and strike up a conversation with your neighborhood as well. And so with that, there is a link where you can see both the link to our toolkit as well as Ukraine. We'll put those in the chat again once more. And with that, you can log your training on any of our trainings on CCL Community now, but I've just made it easy for you at the very bottom of the Stand With Ukraine campaign. You click that and you should be able to automatically get logged tonight. And if you ever want to in the future, a reminder, you can just go to the action tracker. And then when you go from there under chapter and volunteer development, click that under training, select any of those other ones. But I'll just close with this slide. It's all of our main review of what we've highlighted. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, experiences, or best practices after tonight, we'd love to hear them. We are stronger together. I've loved and been inspired by a lot of the suggestions that people have made tonight. So thank you for showing up and sharing how you're going to use this in your own outreach efforts for April to help us get to that collective 1,500 goal that we've set for the month of events across all of our chapters. But please use the forums. We have a wonderful, robust discussion in our group leader community, but as well in our site-wide forums. So that's just cclusa.org/forums. And you can see all of the other resources there. And just know that we look forward to seeing you again, hopefully in person in June. And if not, on the next Zoom webinar. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Well done.
everybody.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Citizens Climate Lobby's training program. You can tune into more episodes anywhere podcasts are available. Inspired by what you heard today? Join Citizens Climate Lobby to advocate for bipartisan climate solutions. Go to community.citizensclimate.org to find more trainings, resources, your local chapter, national action teams, discussion forums, and more. Be sure to like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and Instagram @CitizensClimate. We also invite all of our listeners to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiration.
Like what you hear? Recommend us to your friends and make sure to give us a 5-star rating. It helps us show up on other listeners' feeds. Feel free to pass on any suggestions for future episodes in the comments as well.
And together, we are creating the political will for a livable world.